everybody, Chris here. We have a strong technical setup on the Dogecoin chart, which I'm going to show you in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And overall, we have had a pullback in the crypto market over the past 24 hours. Just about everything, except like BNB or something. But right now, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, recovering, and I don't know, some analysts are talking about the top is already in and there's this bearish chart structure. We'll take a look at that, but I'll also show you the counter argument of the bears, which is the bulls, and how strong actually the charts look. So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts on the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the Dogecoin chart, and Dogecoin is just under 25 cents. Yes, we've had, again, this is penny by penny, and we've had a pullback over the past day from the 27 cent resistance that we had, tried to hold 26 cents as support, and then yesterday morning we saw the big leverage flush all the way down to 25 cents, a dip last night to about 24.5 and back up, still holding this upward sloping support line, and this white sketch again is just showing higher lows. We'll take a look at that structure in just a little bit. Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin is holding 123,000. Again, Bitcoin yesterday had that big pullback. Again, long leverage trades getting wiped out. The market makers pouncing on the weakness in the stock market yesterday as the stock market was finally having a negative reaction to the U.S. government shutdown. And that's what all that was about yesterday. But today we're seeing signs of recovery despite some bearish chart looks that people are calling. I don't get, well, we'll take a look at it, right? We'll take a look at it right here. So overall, this is what the overall crypto heat map looks like. And it's all in the red, right? It's not just Dogecoin, it's everything else. Yes, Dogecoin is down a little bit more than some of these others. I mean, but 4.6% ETH, 4.7% Doge, that's pretty close. Of course, BNB is in the green, hitting new all-time highs. We covered that yesterday. We can look at that again in the live stream. My next live stream will be Wednesday at 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time, so make sure that you're subscribed. You've got your notifications on. You can join in as we look at a whole range of other cryptocurrencies. But again, this isn't just Dogecoin, it's the whole market, and especially ETH coming down as much as it has with the pullback means Bitcoin dominance starting to tick up a little bit, just over 59%. But we'll see how that plays out. Look, Ash Crypto says, look, why does everything feel so dead? Bitcoin just hit a new all-time high 2 days ago. It's still trading above $120,000. And do you know why that is? It's because nobody has Bitcoin, right? The meme coin buyers got rugged. Futures traders got liquidated by the market makers. Utility tokens are making new lows. That's right. You would think that, the Stacks and Say and all these, no, they're getting wrecked too. Big projects in extraction mode. ETH is still below its 2021 high, right? It's just like, ugh. So anything other than Bitcoin didn't perform. 99% of retail only hold altcoins, making new bottoms, new lows, and we're trying to figure out where these support levels are, and some of them are just continuing to pull back. You start to see the pullback, you buy on the dip, and then it dips a little more. So yeah, the frustration is there. I get it. So until ETH breaks 5,000, liquidity flows into mid-low caps, you won't see any celebrations because everyone is tired and exhausted, waiting years and years. I get it. But then, this is the time you make money, right? And of course, buying 2 years ago, as we talk about, is better than buying today, right? If you were here 2 years ago at the bottom of the bear, but you can still make money today, not financial advice, of course. Merlin's like, look, Bitcoin's liquidity game in full display. Buy walls hit, sell stacked, retail shaken out while the whales fill up. That's right. This is the big liquidity grab, all these leverage traders getting wiped out, price comes down, and guess what happens? When it bottoms out, the whales swoop in, they buy coins at a lower price, start to bring the price back up, and eventually they're going to get up here and take out the shorts. It's a repeated pattern again and again and again. Drop the price, shake you out, as well as taking out the leverage, because that's what the market makers want, right? And then moves back up. Pattern, 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 right? But some of them are saying, look, it's a bearish engulfing candle here. Bearish engulfing candle on the Bitcoin daily chart. It's like, oh no, bearish, bearish. We're going to drop down to 114, maybe even lower. Even Ivan on Tech this morning was like, I have to do my duty, right? And let you guys know, right? And it's just like, we're so many days after the Bitcoin halving, so this is the top. The top is in now. 2021, we didn't have as huge of as a second, top. Like all of those things are being talked about, but yet I'm still bullish. I am not bearish like this. And look, Trader Allen isn't either. Look at ETH on the daily, right? Bearish engulfing, but he's saying, look, they're false breakdowns. These are false breakdowns, and that we've had a false breakdown. This little sign here, we've seen it before. This is the fake out right here. Right? It turns to look bearish, and then what happens? It turns around and goes higher, right? The bearish, it turns down a little and goes higher. And here we are again for a third time. Looks a little bearish, and it's going to turn around and it's going to go higher. It's all set up that way. Look, we've seen this again before on Bitcoin as well, where we have these tops, right? That creates the sloping resistance line. It turns into support. Again, we've got this sloping resistance line. It turns into support. Here we are again, sloping resistance line, right? Could we have this as support again? Are we going to scare everybody out a little more? Come down a little bit more before moving up? Or are we going to be looking at this anomaly here of that previous all-time high? And that trending resistance line should really be up here, and we've just hit that as support before moving higher. We're going to be watching that. Overall, we got the MACD signal on the weekly Bitcoin chart doing a crossover. That crossover is key for the next move up. We saw it back here, October 2024. We saw it here, May 2025, and each of those had big runs. So here we are again, MACD crossover, very bullish. Despite the bearish daily, the weekly still looks strong. Dogecoin is still the 8th largest cryptocurrency, $37.7 billion market cap, right? And we look at the biggest gainers over the past 24 hours, but really this is more about what are the losers, right? 00, XPL, Pi, World Liberty Finance is down to 17 cents. There's a big drop that just happened with WLFI. And Virtual Bacon trying to pump his bags, and he's just going down. ENA, Pendle, WorldCoin, Pump.Fund. Somebody in the stream yesterday was saying, why didn't you buy Pump.Fund? I was just like, I already rode that. I doubled my money. I made my profit. I booked it on a coin like that. And it's just turned around and gone lower. So, those are the ones you don't want to be in. Now, one of them or two of them could go on another run. We don't know what's going to happen with XPL. We look at those during the live streams, but Dogecoin, we looked at this yesterday. Their clean core zone, right, with the Dogecoin Foundation, House of Doge, now has 710 million, not tokens, stupid crypto market cap, coin market cap. It's like coins. They're coins, right? They're on their way to $1 billion in their treasury. And that's just part of what's building. Here's Dogecoin, this upward trending support line that I have on my chart too. Trader Allen's like, yep, it's an upward trending support line. Doge just came down and hit it, and now it's time to move higher. We've got altcoin Sherpa saying, look, Dogecoin is going to break soon. The minute you see Bitcoin break through all-time highs, you can gig along Dogecoin. Again, Dogecoin outperforms Bitcoin on the green candles. Of course, the huge one, right, was last November into December 2024, that huge run. But we've had these little mini runs here. We had it in May, we had it in July, had it in September, and the setup again is for the next big one. We're waiting for this big move again, what we had just a little under a year ago, that next big move for Dogecoin. Again, our 2-week structure is same thing. It's all set up similar to what we had early 2024 with that early February, March 2024 run. And it looks like the market structure is very similar. We had a little bit more of a big pullback from the big run, the big November run, right? That triangle is a little steeper than what we had back in 2023, but the setup is still the same. ETFs, what's going to happen with Doge? Look, a Canary just filed S1 amendments for Litecoin and Hedera spot ETFs. Bloomberg's Eric Bakunis says this move is typically the final step before launch, but the SEC has a skeleton staff. Everybody else is on furlough, right? Part of the U.S. government shutdown, but yet these guys are still working and getting ready to launch the ETFs, and we've got Grayscale with the Dogecoin one, which is supposed to follow Litecoin, on deck. That is going to be huge. Overall, Dogecoin setup is louder than Bitcoin's all-time high. You may be sleeping on it. That's right. Dogecoin is flashing one of its strongest technical setups of the year. As price action, exchange data, long-term chart structure converge to suggest a potential breakout phase. This is what is coming for Dogecoin, a possible 300% upside, which gets us just past the previous all-time high. So Dogecoin is cleared a descending trend line. We saw that before. That moved down. I'll show you that again. And this 25-cent support, it mirrors 2 earlier structural reversals that preceded multi-month rallies. If the momentum continues, projections point towards 70 to 80 cents, up to 300% upside. These historical rallies have often followed similar compression breakouts on higher time frames. We've got renewed retail interest that will come in right now. Of course, everything's a little weak, but the cultural catalyst, what's going to happen? Of course, we had Elon Musk and Doge, right? At the end of last year. What is going to be this year? Now, we know Dogecoin's low fees, right? Some are calling for Bitcoin again to be like really used as a currency. Their transaction costs are like $1 to $3, while Dogecoin's fees remain well below 10 cents. The sustained fee advantage continues to strengthen Doge's use case as a low-cost payment network, especially as blockchain-based payments gain mainstream adoption, and particularly we're waiting for Doge OS, Such Pay, like all of these things that are being developed to finally launch to show Dogecoin's big use case. Also, we have a lot of outflows from exchanges. It means the whales are buying and they're moving coins off the exchanges. CoinGlass shows all of these net outflows from the Dogecoin exchanges happening, right? Buying on the dips. So the accumulation aligns with broader breakout structure on weekly charts, adding conviction to the bullish narrative. This was the big pullback that we had from that 30-cent run that was in mid-September. We had the pullback, and now the chart structure is turning again green, turning positive. Yeah, we have that red candle, that shakeout candle that's happening, but that usually comes around and turns higher again when people least expect it. So Dogecoin trading around 25 cents, still within this rising channel, and we will see this 24.5-cent support line. We ticked it with the 50 and 100 day EMA. Sustained hold would likely keep the near-term bias positive, so we'll be watching that. These are the same kind of structural setups that once transformed Doge from a meme into a market leader. What makes this moment different is the alignment of low fee utility, heavy exchange outflows, weekly breakout that has historically preceded these exponential runs. So this is what's happening with Doge right now. We will see how that works going forward. We will continue to watch that. So right now, I know it's down a little. There's some negative sentiment out there, but I still think the technical setup for Dogecoin is there for this big breakout. Q4 2025, fourth year of the 4-year cycles. We're all in it right now. And those market makers and exchanges are trying to shake you out. Leave a comment below. What do you think about this strong technical setup for Dogecoin? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.